This case was supposed to be straightforward, until one small detail changed everything. A missing woman, a routine day, and two overlooked moments that now raise serious questions. Even Nancy Grace says something about this timeline doesn't sit right. Backhand index pointing right before we go further. Subscribe now, because we break down real cases like this every week. Nancy Guthrie was last seen on what should have been a normal day. No signs of struggle, no immediate alarm. But when hours turned into silence, concerns started building. Family and neighbors began asking, where did she go? Why did she leave no trace? At first, everything pointed to a routine disappearance, until investigators started looking closer. Backhand index pointing right if you're already feeling something is off. Hit subscribe, because it only gets stranger from here. One of the first timeline points investigators reviewed was a delivery made that day. A routine drop-off, something that happens every day and is usually forgotten. But in this case, it became important. According to reports, the delivery happened within a very tight window, right around the time Nancy Guthrie was last active. So the question became, did anything unusual happen during that moment? Was anything seen or missed? Nothing confirmed, nothing proven, but enough to raise questions. Backhand index pointing right, stay with this, because the next detail is where things take a turn.
Nancy Guthrie missing day 53. This as Savannah Guthrie speaks out on national TV regarding what she and her family have been through in this ordeal and issuing another plea for help. In the meantime, Sheriff Nanos gets a vote of no confidence, and many tonight calling for his resignation. Also, the Fed's taking a closer look at what appears to be headlights that shine behind the porch guy's shoulder during the kidnap. Many believed this could be from a construction site, that we identified the location for you. Many believe it's solar-powered lights. But tonight, are those lights actually moving? A slow-mo reenact tonight. Also, GoFundMe fakes, jackals, feeding on the Nancy Guthrie investigation, and we learn that was received for work in Nancy Guthrie's home just before she goes missing. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
First, it was just Pima County flying their helicopter from Tucson to the border.
They would not go a drive-by at the Mexican border.
I disagree. That flight pattern looked to me like they were moving people.
Why did they need an aerial?
We are in agony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We are in agony. It is unbearable.
Mm-hmm.
And to think of what she went through.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up every night, in the middle of the night, every night. And in the darkness, I imagine her terror. And it is unthinkable, but those thoughts demand to be thought.
Yeah.
And I will not hide my face. That she needs to come home.
Day, YouTube. Savannah issuing another plea, begging people for help and describing the anguish vanished in the middle of the night. At this hour, we understand that LE is re-examining potential headlights on his shoulder. Let's take a look at that. And if possible, control room, please slow-mo the porch guy. There you see the lights that many people observe, first looking like headlights. Keep watching the lights. The porch guy fumbling around. Many people with the naked eye believe that they see the lights actually moving. And if you look carefully, it does appear as if a car is inching forward. We also see the porch guy looking back over his shoulder at the lights. Last night, we heard theories that those lights were actually solar-powered lights that would gain power during the day from the sun, and then they would shine during the night. We heard theories that those were lights that are continuously kept on at a construction site. As a matter of fact, take a listen to our friend, Mr. Lemie, Nancy Guthrie's neighbor.
If you're on Escalante and you directly stare from Nancy's home up the street, that kind of there's a cul-de-sac above, if on this camera view above her street, you'll see a white roofed house at the very, very top of that cul-de-sac. That's where construction is occurring.
Joining us tonight, Brian Fitzgibbons, Director of Operations, USPA Nationwide Security, leading a team of investigators around the world finding and extracting missing people. Former Marine, Iraqi war vet. What would be the significance if, in fact, those lights are moving?
Yeah, it does appear to me that these lights are moving. And it's important to remember when you see this now in regular speed and you see the lights appear, there's quite a bit of vegetation on that side of Miss Guthrie's property. So it's very plausible that that vehicle is coming down Escalante, and then the lights are hidden and obscured by the trees there.
Fitz, did you explain the significance if they're moving?
The significance there would be it would certainly add credibility to the theory that there was a second perpetrator here and that was indeed a vehicle that was involved in this abduction.
Joining us tonight, special guest Jeff Martin. He's joining us out of Grand Rapids, certified digital forensics expert, over 20 years of experience. He specializes in cell phone forensics, computer forensics, cybersecurity, and more. Instructor, Davenport University. Wow. You can find him at Jeff Martin CFCE and at Jeffrey Michael Martin on Insta at Jeff Mart. Jeff, thank you for being with us tonight. The possibility that those lights are in fact a vehicle opens up a wide range of potential digital evidence as to who was up there. Not who was at her doorstep, but who was up there. Explain.
Right. So it ultimately opens up the crime scene, right? If that vehicle or those lights are, believed to be involved in the event, then it opens up the crime scene to that construction site. And there is a potential for investigating digital evidence footprints in and around that construction site.
I'm just wondering, Jeff Martin, the degree to which the construction site was secured. I mean, think about it, Jeff. We didn't even have this video until somehow, it's frankly a miracle, that out of the literally trillions of data points, Google, not law enforcement, but Google managed to find Nancy Guthrie's porch video and then resurrect, like Lazarus, for Pete's sake, resurrect the video. So I see no reason why law enforcement would have secured the construction site as a potential tertiary crime scene.
Correct. I mean, ultimately, until they know that that site is potentially involved, then they may have not identified it as something to even investigate, let alone secure as a crime scene.
Let's take a look at the map again, Jeff. And I'm not throwing a stone right now, anyway, at Nanos's outfit, because at that time, I don't believe that they had any reason to secure the construction site, although it should certainly have been investigated right at the beginning, along with the vacant property. But look at the location. The middle red marker, Guthrie home, above it, the construction site. And if, like Fitzgibbon says, he sees movement, it would have been the car moving forward toward the cul-de-sac and toward Nancy Guthrie's home. Now, how does that fit in, Jeff Martin, with potentially capturing digital evidence?
Well, you take digital evidence can be just about anywhere these days. And, I'll give the example of cell phone tower digital evidence. Just that location alone, the construction site location alone, could be operating on a different cell phone tower, for example. And if law enforcement hadn't identified that early on, then that may be something that they could go back and look at as far as digital evidence there. Then you take the vehicle, for example. Depending on what type of vehicle it is, there could be a lot of digital evidence from that vehicle. Now, unfortunately, we can't really identify what type of make, model the vehicle is. But that's just another avenue of digital evidence. Take the construction site alone. Does the construction site have digital devices on the construction site? Some construction site these days, they leave equipment on site. Is that equipment secured with, digital devices? Does the construction company have maybe Wi-Fi set up so that the construction workers have the ability to, communicate? There are a lot of different things that we could speculate on as far as what type of digital evidence could be available at that site.
Okay, Jeff Martin, you just went DEFCON 4 on me. You're going warp speed. Could you explain what you were saying about digital evidence at the construction scene?
Right. So, some construction companies, in order to secure their equipment, they want to leave their equipment on site so they're not transporting it back and forth. Some of them secure their construction sites with digital devices such as security cameras or digital locks and such. Some construction companies today use digital time cards where employees show up and they tap a digital device to enter in their time on site or off site. I'm just spitballing here with the amount of digital evidence that I've seen in numerous investigations, what could be, or what as a law enforcement investigation, what I would be thinking about trying to determine what type of digital evidence would be available at that construction site.
You also mentioned, for all we know, and it's entirely possible, the construction site was most connected to a different cell tower. Why would that be significant?
Well, I just use that as an example, right? So, I'm sure the law enforcement has done a cell phone tower investigation surrounding Savannah or Nancy Guthrie's home. And what that entails is they typically try to determine, on the night of or the morning of February 1st, what cell phones were connected to the tower that services that home. That I think would have been done by law enforcement early on. Now, one possibility, if there is more than one tower servicing the area surrounding Nancy Guthrie's home, is that construction site might be serviced by a different cell phone tower than Nancy Guthrie's home is, just based on the serviceability and the signal strength of cell phone towers. It's just in the realm of possibility, something that I would think about if I was an investigator in this investigation.
In addition to the lights behind the porch guy's shoulder reportedly moving, inching, seemingly forward. Now, of course, the FBI will be able to enhance that no end. How do they do that, Jeff Martin?
Ultimately, there's software out there that video experts will use to enhance video and, get rid of the noise, get rid of the clarification, mess with the lighting so that you can enhance the area of the video where the headlights are. They can adjust contrast and saturation colors and all of those levels that are usually present in video.
Also, we are learning that signal jammers emit a certain frequency. And as I was researching last night, I saw Sign Wizard 6 on Twitter come up with a very unique theory that dogs can be affected or respond to such frequencies. That made me think about what neighbor Jeff Lemie told us.
Preceding the event, there were some evenings where our dogs woke up, which was highly unusual. We don't know if there's a correlation. I know the FBI and the investigators have asked for cameras and camera footage. All the neighbors have shared camera footage and any recollection they have. The dogs did rouse and I took them out. There is an image of me on camera. I heard nothing or saw nothing, but animals can be, especially dogs, can be hypersensitive. Yeah, and also some of the other evenings that we've been questioned about, I'm working from memory again. I believe January 11th was another date that was in question. So we had this activity at that time, and human nature, we just filed it away and didn't really think about this until we were asked to review our video, and then had this recollection and saw this correlation, which was very unusual.
On January 11 and January 31, both nights your dogs uncharacteristically